Hello, everybody. My name is Kate. I'm coming at you from the East Bay SPCA, and welcome to my presentation on Hisses to Kisses, a presentation on feline fear and under socialization presented by the East Bay SPCA. All right, so we have a lot to cover in the next little while, so I would really appreciate it if you guys could all hold your questions to the end. I promise I will get to them, but let's go ahead and jump right in. We got a lot to cover. All right, like I said, my name is Kate. I'm the Shelter Behavior Coordinator here at the East Bay SPCA. I am a CPDT, a certified trainer, and basically what I do with my day is I go throughout the shelter and help some of our more stressy, more fearful animals in our shelter. So providing training and behavior modification plans for those who might need it, and spending a little bit extra time with our fearful feline friends. All right, so what we're going to cover today, like I said, I'm going to throw that at you. We're going to be discussing fear in cats and what that sort of looks like and how you can help them in new environments, or whether you're transitioning a new cat into your home in many different contexts. A guide to body language and yours, and how you can help them just with sort of positioning your body in certain ways, defining trust and consent in training, managing the environment and setting your cat up for success, and step-by-step guide to building positive associations whenever we have a feline learning a new thing, whether that's a new stranger coming in. We always want to be building up those positive associations. All right, so we're going to break down some of the more common types of fear. First off, we have our under socialization. These are our baby cats who might not have the exposure or the experience of what humans are. Typically, the socialization window for kittens is about 2 to 7 weeks old. That's where you want to get expose them to a lot of really good things slowly and with confidence. Usually when we hit about 4 months of age, we might see some progress slow when we are, trying to build those new associations and help them learn new things. But it is not impossible. We will go through that in a little bit. But generally, when we are talking about the window of socialization for kittens, we're talking about that 2 to 7 week period. We have our shy and circle friends cats. These are cats who they have some experience with humans. They might just be they have a little bit larger of a personal bubble. Novel people and new environments can be scary, but, friendly, outgoing with, people that they know and environments that they're comfortable in already. And then we have our feral friends. Our ferals have not been socialized to people and typically will view humans as a potential threat. Most of the time, or I should say, feral cats will often not be, comfy with humans in their space. And when we find them in our shelter environment, they are very, very uncomfortable with confinement. They want nothing to do with people. But as we know, not all stray cats are feral cats. Oftentimes you'll see some social stray cats bopping around. I lived in Berkeley. I've seen a lot of social, outside cats. But those are common types of fear. All right, body language, how to objectively recognize and describe both overt and subtle fear. Body language is going to be our first line of defense, first line of communication when we are working with these shy friends. If we are unable to sort of see what they're trying to communicate with us, we will often miss steps or, push past, when they're ready to really, break through and start to get a little bit comfortable, we might miss those little cues and push them over threshold or into a scary place, and we don't want to do that. So being able to recognize really, really subtle body language is going to be an amazing tool. All right, so we have our overt fear. We've all seen the sort of scary Halloween cat sort of stance. We have our ears flattened, our tail pilo erection, often called hackles, like our fluffy cat right there, right at the top. Tail crooked or straight up. Arched back, trying to make themselves as big as possible. Look how big and scary I am. Hissing, showing teeth. Look at my weapons. I might use them on you. Be careful. Growling vocalization, yowling, or calling out. And then we have our more subtle signs of fear. These are some things that, are a little less obvious, especially to our human friends. So this is going to be really, really important to be looking for when we are working with these fearful guys. like I said, the subtle types of fear, we have our ears down, often called airplane ears, trying to make ourselves super small. I'm not threatening at all. Large dilated pupils that are not appropriate for the amount of light coming into the room at that time. Hunched posture, very tucked, very tight. Tail curled tightly. Whiskers are a little bit forward. Whale eye, which is where we see the whites of an eye. An animal will often give whale eye when they want to keep their eye on something maybe of interest, maybe potentially scary, but they want to keep their face away from it. So important sign to look for. And then a paw lift. We'll talk about more postures and where cats use movement and their weight to sort of communicate how they're feeling. But a paw lift can often mean, oh, am I getting ready to run away? Am I getting ready to come forward? So keep an eye on where that paw is. All right. Our body postures. This is a little bit more what I was speaking about before. We have our tense and tight body postures. Look, our first friend, we have very, very large eyes. Our ears are right out. Our head is low. And what you can't see in the end of this picture, but this tail is wrapped as tightly as possible. Please don't look at me. Please don't look at me. Our defensive are getting smaller. So I see in this picture right in the middle that we do have a tooth display right here. But what I want you to do is sort of take your thumb and cover up the teeth. What do we see? We see ears all the way back, weight shifted all the way back. Whiskers are like, ugh. So what we are seeing there is, please give me some space. I can come at you. I don't want to. See how small and see how tucked I'm getting. And then our last very, very fluffy friend is getting very, very large. So we see a lot of hackles, that piloerection. We have our whiskers that are all the way out, trying to make them look as big as possible, big Halloween cat back, and some airplane ears. So these are all body postures that we could be looking for when we are dealing with maybe a cat that we don't know, or during dealing with a cat who is experiencing some level of fear, anxiety, or stress. All right, body position. This is another big one. We have our neutral. Look at that very lovely orange tabby cat right there, looking pretty neutral. We have, all of our weight usually across all of our paws. Our weight forward. Now, this is an interesting one because weight coming forward does not always mean good or bad. We definitely want to be looking at the context. That's something that's really, please take home, if nothing else, that context really, really matters when we are looking at an animal's body language. A weight forward can mean, hey, do you have a snack? I know you. Do you have a snack? Or a weight forward can mean, I don't know you. I'm very scared of you. And if you don't go away, I will try to chase you away myself. So, all right. So now we have our weight back, just sort of like our fearful friend with all the teeth and the ears back in the previous slide. This is often, I'm not quite sure, to please leave me alone. And then I know what we've been very, very, we've said social distance quite a lot the last couple of years, but when we are talking about body language, cats are amazing at using space to communicate how they feel. So are they closing distance with you? Are they coming forward to you in a more comfortable, more neutral context? Are you offering what we'll discuss in a second, consent tests? Are they engaging with you by themselves? Or are they, no, I'd rather stay over here for a while. Thank you. Please give me some space. So those are all sorts of different body positions that we will also be looking at. All right, this is a big one. Your body language can help immensely when we're dealing with our fearful friends. We want to make ourselves look as little as possible. So often we'll turn to the side and sort of just not coming on too forward, too confrontational, just like, oh, hey, how you doing? Exaggeratedly relaxed posture. Oftentimes in our shelter environment, when you see me and my coworkers working with, especially our hissy spitty, like under socialized kittens, you'll see us standing in holdings like, turn to the side, big slow blinks, big deep breaths, nothing to worry about. I'm not experiencing a threat. This is a safe space. Now that is also a great reminder to help calm yourself when we are dealing with, fearful friends who might be a little bit more on edge, we want to remind ourselves to stay calm in those moments and to sort of slowly move our body. We are not invading their space too quickly or anything like that. Head to the side. This is a lovely little social gesture that cats will often give communicating with each other. They'll sort of roll over and smoosh on the surface that they're on. Humans can sort of imitate that too, not to the same degree, but we can sort of turn our head to the side, some slow blinks, slow blinking, a yawn to sort of help calm themselves, or those little sighs. These are all things that you can do to sort of remind yourself and communicate to your friend that you are a safe person to be around. Training and trust, applying the science of behavior with care for consent. This is one of my most passionate topics. So trust in training is so incredibly important. Trust is the level of confidence on the part of the animal that interactions with you produce consistently safe and positive outcomes. It's our job to make sure that interactions feel safe and positive for the animal, even if that means our personal expectations, like being able to pet a cat, they're not met. We love to sort of smoosh all over cats, right? They're cuddly. We want lap cats, but oftentimes in transitional experiences or just, novel situations, that can be very scary. So we want everyone to be able to warm up at their own pace, offer them choice, offer them whatever they like to help sort of get them through some of the scarier times, to really help build up that bank of positive associations. Consent checks. Now, before we watch our video number 1, I want to talk a little bit about what a consent check is. So it is engaging with the cat based on their own body language and going at their pace, never invading or reaching for them all of the way, sort of allowing them. You can offer contact, but not initiating contact. We want them to be able to slowly approach at whatever pace that they feel comfortable. So oftentimes this looks sort of like offering those little muddy fingers we all very familiar with. And then if the cat is ready, if you get any sort of contact, you do a little bit of gentle petting where they offer that contact. And then you take it away. Did you like that? Would you like some space now? It's offering that choice in that social interaction. Engagement will usually last around 3 to 5 seconds. We don't want to just be like, oh, you smooshed my hand, now I'm going to pet you for 10 minutes. No good. We need to give these guys breaks. And observe their response, respect their choice. If they want to go off and have a snack, that's fine. If they want to play with a wand toy, also fine. Make sure that we're always offering that choice. If a cat re-engages, great. If they're into it and that feels real nice, keep going, yeah, go for it. But if they disengage, do something else, no pressure. So let's go ahead and watch that first video. Hello. Oh, sweet peas. Oh, good job. Oh, so lovely. Ooh, there we go. Good lady. So while the cat in that previous slide was not necessarily a hissy spitty kitten, she was giving me a lot of what we call emotional conflict. She wasn't quite sure if she wanted to interact with me. And there were once or twice I lingered just a little bit too long, and she backed up and she was like, whoa, I'm going to walk over to the other side of my space to get a little bit of distance from you. But I went with her body language. So she directed me in where I also pet her. So all those little things are things that we need to be looking for to help a cat, even just one experiencing sort of a mild degree of fear in that moment, the choice to opt in or out. So I'm going to not dump too much into this slide. We can go down a nerd rabbit hole, and I know we don't have time for that. So I'm going to talk very, very briefly about classical conditioning and just making associations. It's not any sort of conscious learning that's going on. Just it's the subconscious that food is good. A lot of cats like food or whatever reinforcer that they prefer. And when humans bring them the food, humans then become good. We are changing that emotional connection to a previously scary stimuli, which would be meat. The goal is to create a new reaction to a previously scary stimulus. So if we do this over and over and over, and we are like, hey, hello, how are you? Would you like a snack? Leave. Hello, how are you? Would you like a snack? Leave. Eventually, especially for our very foodie kittens, they're gonna be like, hey, where'd that lady with the snacks go? I like her. And then we can really start building up some more positive associations and like getting into things like touch and more consent. Reinforcers, which is what I sort of jumped to in the last slide a little bit too early. Reinforcers is what we can offer the cat to make whatever it is a little less scary, a little bit more worth their time. Good is subjective, and it only matters to the kitten if the kitten thinks it's good. A lot of times we have what we call high value snacks back here in our behavior and training department. But not every single kitten is going to want to come out for chicken baby food. Not every kitten is going to want to come out for a toy. You have to play to their preferences. Behavior term reinforcing. What is reinforcing for one kitten might not be reinforcing for another. Explore your options. Every learner is different. Some examples of some reinforcers: food, baby food, treats, Nulo sticks, greenies, churu sticks. The list can go on and on, especially with the foodie kittens. Toys and play, a touch and petting, a little bit gentle massage, and you leaving can be really, really amazing, especially for our under-socialized friends who don't have a lot of experience with people even making good things happen. So sometimes just taking that social pressure or that close distance away is relieving, and follow it up with something that they like, and then repeat. Where'd the lady with the food go? We're already starting to make those positive associations. All right, so this is a topic that is still prevalent in some shelters environments. Luckily for us at the East Bay SPCA, we are very, very up to date in all of our behavior research. So this is something that used to be common practice in a lot of shelters. It's a burrito or a burrito as a way to socialize under-socialized hissy spitty kittens. It basically, you wrap them up in a towel and sort of force them to stay still and sort of just accept the handling until they get used to it. In behavior science, this is known as flooding, where basically you expose an individual, a kitten, to a very intense level of stimuli without any attempt to make it less intense and without any attempt to let them get away. So we just it's sort of like the same idea as you throwing somebody into the pool to get them over their fear of water. You just throw them in and hope they get used to it. We have definitely moved away from this in the scientific community and then in the shelter community. This technique has been known to create a negative association with handling. It can actually slow socialization progress. The kittens don't always know, are they going to get grabbed and held for an hour, or is something good going to happen? So that can really, really make it hard to build up that positive association and build up that trust that you're going to need later. Since we stopped using this in the shelter, kittens have actually made progress at much quicker rates, up to 3 times as quickly we see a little bit of social change. We have a saying in our office that slow is smooth and smooth is fast. So we really want to put in just a couple extra seconds here and there, front loading those positive associations, building up that bank of when you come around, good things happen, so that when things like invasive medical handling or some sort of immediate emergent transit needs to happen, the kittens can recover a lot quicker because they already have this huge repertoire of positive experiences, and they're able to recover more quickly from something that might be scary. Environmental management. I love environmental management. Your first line of defense against fear, setting everyone up for success. So setting cats up for success by using their environment. If you are bringing a new cat home, make sure you have a sanctuary space for them. Transition for cats is huge, and for well socialized cats and for more confident cats, transition can still take a couple weeks of them acclimating to a novel environment. For a shy cat or an under socialized cat, that can take a lot longer. So make sure that they have somewhere where they can feel safe. Small enclosed spaces with options for unintended hiding spots. We don't want a cat accidentally choosing the back of a toilet to reside as a hiding spot. We want to be able to have access to their hiding spot so we can do little short sessions with them, but we don't want them, accidentally up on the second highest shelf in the house above the TV where it's impossible to get to. So small little sanctuary spaces, make sure everything that they need is in that sanctuary space. Many times, shy cats will often have accidents. They will often stop eating if they have to venture out of their safe space. So we want to make sure that everything that they need in there is in there. The food, water, litter boxes, everything that they need, maybe some toys, like occasional snack here and there. But we really need it to be accessible to us. Space is completely enclosed with all the basic needs, like I said. If this is a resident cat and you're still seeing, some more fearful behaviors, give them multiple hiding spots. Give them a choice. See what they like the most. Excuse me. Imagine what they prefer based on past experience. Does your cat like to hang out under the bed? Well, maybe we set them up with a nice little dark hiding spot in the corner of the room. Limit noise, high traffic for training sessions. We don't want anything to accidentally give them a negative association. Like, I was working with a cat, my hand came close, and then someone slammed the door. And now the cat might make that association that the hand coming makes the loud noise happen. So we want to really make sure it's nice and quiet and relaxing. First introductions, hissing, hiding, and cowering stage. So for our first introductions, we want to make sure that we have a lot of good experiences with being approached. Make sure that they have a place to feel safe during your session, whether that's a hiding spot, whether that's an accessible cat tower, whatever that they need. Acclimate to their space. Talk to them for a little bit. Use your body language. Turn to the side. Deep breaths. Everything's okay. Tilt your head. Slow blinks. All those things that cats will use with each other and with humans to communicate how they're feeling and that they're non-threatening. And after a while, it's actually really, really fun when you are working with a shy kitten and you're like, hey, buddy, hi. And you do a lot of slow blinks, and this might be your third or fourth session, and then you get the first slow blink back at you. Oh, it's the best. Extend a bit of something delicious towards them using an object such as a back scratcher, a spoon, or a popsicle stick. So this is sort of just to keep your body and your appendages and your fingers away from their mouth when we are just starting to introduce reinforcers. If you're comfortable, get it near, under, or just slightly touching the tippy of their nose. If they're not, place it as close as comfortable for them and withdraw your hand. Continue talking gently to them as they eat. So we never, ever, ever want to use our fingers for delivering treats to kittens. They are really bad at using their mouths at eating food, and they will bite down in your finger. So use something else. Use a popsicle stick. We have needleless syringes here that we can sort of just squirt right into the kitten's mouth. So always protect yourself. And then we want to repeat this multiple short 2 to 3 minute sessions that are desirable at first. We always want to make sure that these sessions end on a good note. So we don't want to push too far. It can get really exciting when we see kittens start to make progress. And we're like, let's do a little more, just a little more, a little bit more. But we got to take a step back and give them appropriate breaks when they need it. And adjust based on your cat's level of fear. Some cats spend about 2 days at this stage. Some need 2 weeks, a couple of months. Just go slow and don't get discouraged. So right before we see this video, this is a cat that we worked with here in our shelter, and this was all took place over the course of one day. So here we have a very upset friend. Airplane ears back, furrow brow, real tucked. A hiss, we don't like it. Please go away. All right, treats drop and we go away. Now we're coming back. Would you like, this is a little needleless syringe full of baby food. Oh, I don't like it. Are you sure? Would you like? So in this video, we can sort of see the nose working. So like, oh, would you like to sniff this? Oh, well, maybe that's not so bad. Okay. We see a shift in the posture. The ears come up from that very flat airplane style. Right there, we see a big stretch and a settling of the body. We're starting to just relax just a hair. Ooh, we hear there's the ears. And you can see the handler in this video. She's going very, very slow with how she is delivering the food. We don't want to go too quickly into the kitten's space. We want to gently, gently enter their space. Oh, where'd the lady with the food go? Here you are. Delicious. I'll take some more of that. Yeah. We do a brief sniff of the hand. Very good. So we follow that up right with the reinforcer because that was the closest they've gotten to the hand, and they actually gave it a sniff. And here we go. All right, life's not so bad. I come out. Oh, I scare myself with my water. I'll go back to my safe space. But there we've made a little bit of progress with the human positive association. That humans coming mean good things. Oh, we have that tail up. Ears are up now. Oh, yes. And we see the biscuits coming. Yes. So that can all happen over the course of just a couple extra minutes of spending time and offering kittens that choice. I'm actually going to have production skip this video for me, because we're going to get another example of this. If we just skip this slide, I can just go through. There we go. Okay. So first, introductions. Food is not the only reinforcer. Try toys. We've recently in the shelter had a litter of kittens that were definitely of the hissy and spitty flavor. And my go-to is usually food. A lot of kittens that I work with, they do just sort of like, oh yeah, food is what I will work for. Food is what will help me through this scary situation. But for this group of kittens, it was not the way. They loved to play. They love to play. They would come out for play. And especially if I had just newspaper and I sort of ripped it up and created a little bit of fringe, so it sort of sounded like feathers, and I sort of jimmied it along the kennel floor, they lit up like fireflies whenever I had that out. So some cats are more interested in toys than they are in food and can make super fast progress in using play. So never, never disregard toys as a possible reinforcement option. Choose wisely for shy kittens, though. Big or loud toys, those big wand toys with bells and feathers and everything, can be very, auditorily overwhelming for those guys. So we want to start real small. So we want to think bug, making the noise of a bug rather than like a bird or a mouse. That's something that might be a little bit bigger, a little bit louder, a little bit scarier. You might want to start by offering a toy from around the corner while you are out of sight. Just because if you are still something that is very, very scary for them at that time, we want them to sort of be able to loosen up and be like, oh, this is what this means. So this toy means good playtime is about to happen. And then slowly you can introduce yourself. Remember, hands and fingers never should be used as toys. It's really cute to play with a little kitten with your hand. When that cat is an adult, it's less cute. So always be mindful, especially when we're working with kittens that are of an impressionable age. So beginning touch. So introducing contact as a reinforcer. Giving kittens a chance to realize they enjoy contact. Now, this is sort of a more delicate process where we really need to rely on our body language observing skills. Make sure that we're being very, very objective and we're doing everything very slowly and always allowing the kitten to opt out if they want to. Once they are no longer showing overt signs of fear at your approach, offer a treatless pen or popsicle stick or back scratcher and use it to pet their foreheads, cheeks, and chin. We don't want to get too much all over the body where areas might be a little bit more sensitive. We know that here and sort of here is a safe spot. It feels good. Generally for most cats, of course, use common sense. If there's an injury or something like that, we want to be very mindful of that as well and not make those negative associations. But try just cheeks, maybe the top of the head. Look for leaning in, relaxing of their body posture, even something really, really just subtle, just a little relaxing. Maybe the tail comes out from their body just a little bit, just the really, really subtle signs. And stop petting and follow up with a tasty treat or a fun round of play, whatever your preferred reinforcer is. Once they feel comfortable being pet by an object, work with your hand down the object. So we started off, so say you're using say a popsicle stick and we have started out with this much added space and we sort of work down slowly to put our hand sort of next to the kitten's face. Reward with a treat or toy for more petting if it looks like they're enjoying it. We don't want to reach in or grabble or do anything really, really quickly. Make sure to take frequent breaks in between petting. Don't use fingers to offer food like we've gone over already. Kittens will often bite down on fingers instead of licking them. So be mindful. Some kittens will not need an object to bridge the gap, but it pays to always be extra cautious, especially when we're first starting to learn some of those body language signs. Always err on the side of caution. Before we start our last video, it is usually really great to have multiple kittens where one kitten is a little bit braver. Then when that one sort of comes out, it's like, hey, what's up? The other kittens who might be a little bit more fearful can go like, look at you and look at their friend. And be, oh, is this fun for you? Okay, great. I'm going to come out and explore too. So this is a fun little video. So if you can go ahead and play it. So we're not super into the touch, but look at that. Oh my goodness, that is the best thing I've ever seen. Ooh, I'm gonna bite it. Yes. Okay, well, maybe. I don't know about that. Oh, but yes, that's definitely something amazing. And look, you can see the friends in the background. Like, what? What do you have? Is it fun? Should I come over? Should I have fun? Ooh, what is that? And then we have our bravest friend right there. Get very brave and try to jump out.
Steal the spotlight.
All right, so of course, play up with your reinforcers. Try different things, and always go really, really slow and never be afraid to change it up. So tips for success, going over everything that we've gone over so far in our presentation. Take it slow. Time is definitely your ally in these situations. We don't want to have anyone feel rushed. We don't want to sort of invade anyone's space when they're not ready for it. We want to go super, super slow. If your feline friend backslides, break the process down to small enough steps so that they can be successful. So if we're like, oh, we got a little bit of chin scratches, but now I want to pet your back, that's too big of a step. We want to go really slow. Here in the behavior department, we say split, don't quit. We want to break down bigger steps into smaller steps if we're seeing either a regression or not any progress being made. We want to go super tiny, incremental, really slow. Stress can affect appetite. If a reinforcer isn't working, try another, change the environment. You can try, wet snacks, hard snacks, your Nulo versus your greenies. try different toys, try different areas where they might be offering that initial contact. So if they are too stressed to eat, likely a food reinforcer will not be as effective when they're that stressed out. And pay attention to your own body language. Remember, big, deep breaths, slow blinks, turn to the side. And that's not a big deal. We're just chilling. It's not scary. It's okay. You can go slow. It's up to you. And then find a way to track your progress. Keeping some sort of log can help. Often when we see these kittens who are like really, really struggling, and then they have one little breakthrough, and then they're like, oh, the world is amazing again. And we look back, we're like, oh, well, we saw a slow blink on day one. Okay. Well, we saw, a settling of the body on day two with some slow blink. So all those little tiny indications that they're starting to warm up, they were all there. So we really want to, make sure that you're patient with yourself, and you are looking for the things that we need to be looking for, especially in those early stages. The more subtlety. All right, and keep at it. Many cats will appear not to make progress with consistent work, then suddenly have a breakthrough. Having a way to track your progress is ideal, like we just talked about with the tracking sheet. And remember, the average for a confident and socialized cat will like to acclimate to a new environment is about 2 weeks, and shy kittens will likely take longer, so don't be discouraged. Time is your ally, and change up that reinforcer, change up that environment, and really see what their preferences are, because that will take you a long way. All right, that wraps up my presentation. Thank you so much for watching. If you have more questions, or you want to go down a little bit more of a nerdy rabbit hole, please feel free to visit the East Bay SPCA website and for behavior resources. We will go on to the Q&A portion. Okay. Yeah, okay. All right, are we still live? All right, so we have our first question. I have a hide under the bed cat. What are the best ways to get her enjoyed the rest of the house? Like I said, maybe offering her some other more accessible hiding spots that are still sort of mimic that same sort of dark cozy that you might find under a bed, and then always making it worth her while to come out. Play with her reinforcers. What sort of food does she like? What sort of toys does she like to do when she comes out? Sometimes cats just prefer to sort of chill out by themselves. It might just be a more of a personality style as well. So I would sort of play with the environment, see how you can sort of switch it up to make her more comfortable. See what other hiding spots you can offer her, and then play with your reinforcers and see what she likes to do when she's outside of the bed. All right. What else do we have here? Quite a few questions. Having a fearful cat can be stressful for people too. What are some signs that pet parents can use to know that they're doing a good job and their cat is improving? Definitely look at all those really subtle body language cues. How is the cat using distance? Are they coming up to you? First of all, we want to make sure that we always rule out, before anything behaviorally gets more assessed, we want to rule out anything medical. So if we are looking at some sort of inhabitants or inappropriate elimination, we really want to make sure that we clear that with medical staff first, and then we can sort of explore the behavior world. So we want to make sure that we're reading their early body language signs, their cues, how they're using space, and making sure that we offer them something that's really, really delicious when they do come out. If we are talking about, maybe new people, new strangers entering in the environment, and that can be a little bit scarier, making sure those strangers are armed with something that your cat really likes too. They don't have to go up and you'll sort of pet them right away, but just sort of sit to the side and like, hey, oh, your cat is over there. Here, let me drop them some treats and leave, and drop treats and leave. And so there we are. We're making those positive associations that strangers will bring you good things. So go ahead and make sure if people are armed with that. Let's see. We have any other questions related to fearful cats? That is a little bit more outside of the realm of the more fearful stuff that can sort of fall under a whole bunch of other um sort of personality styles or behavioral issues. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, the producers read me the question. I just started answering. My cat seems to be communicating by biting. How can I break her of this habit? This is not very, specific to just the shy fearfuls. This could fall under overstimulation or play aggression. So that's not something I'm really going to touch on right now. I would really encourage you, if you are experiencing some more, intense biting like behaviors, whether that's over excitement or where you might be maybe pushing their boundaries a little bit more, feel free to reach out to us. We have a behavior team that one lovely behavior member who like very much specializes in feline behavior problems, and we have a helpline. If you go to our website, you can sign up for that, and we'd be happy to chat with you about that. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for uh hanging out with me and learning about shy and fearful kittens. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and a fun time at the con.